Hey everyone, it's time to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race again. Last night was the final four, and depending on when this video uploads, it may not be last night, but Monday night was the final four episode, and obviously at the end we got down to the final three. So if you didn't see it, you might want to watch it before you watch this video, or you'll get spoiled, as they say. So, unfortunately, Darienne Lake went home. That is not who I would have chosen to go home, but as with many of the episodes this season, I don't agree with RuPaul. And like I said last time, it's his show, so he can decide who he wants, but yeah, that one I didn't agree with either. So let's go back though and talk about what happened in the episode. Obviously, first of all, they were talking about Ben de la Creme going home and that novel that she wrote on the mirror, which you didn't have a chance to read it all on that show, but there have been other postings that spelled out what she said. So anyway, they were talking about that, and then pretty soon they got into the first idea of what they were going to be doing, which was, obviously working on RuPaul's music video and also some acting challenges. So, that took some prep work, took some working with a choreographer, and he was trying to really help, and some of them needed it more than others. But at the point where they got to the performance, that's when, I thought they all did a pretty good job, some better than others. But especially those that were having trouble in the practice seemed to really pull it off. Um, Darienne and Bianca, not so much as far as trouble, but, I don't think that stuff comes as naturally to them as it does to Adore and Courtney. So that's what I meant by that. But yeah, Darian did a good job, I thought, in the choreography and looked great. And I'm talking about when they were on the treadmill. That's, I mean, like somebody said, it's one thing to do choreography in heels, let alone on a treadmill. I wouldn't want to try that. Um, but Courtney, and they showed this especially in the Untucked episode. She had some bizarre faces in that treadmill action, and she really did not look good during the song that she was performing. And so I definitely would have put Courtney in my bottom two if there was a bottom two. Obviously, that's not how they did this particular episode, but yeah, to me, Courtney was the weakest in this episode. She not only didn't do good in that, but I didn't think she was very believable in the acting challenge. She wasn't very good, and as usual, not that interesting. So, that's how I would sum up Courtney for this entire season is she's very pretty. I know she's very talented, but she's not coming across the best in this show, I don't think. So that's what I would have to sum her up as far as last night and really for the whole season. So I think she should have gone home. Her or maybe Adore, but Adore did pretty good, so that's why I would have to vote for Courtney in this case. Um, Now, as far as Adore, Adore did well in the choreography. She is a pretty natural at that. She does a pretty good job all the time in the dancing and choreography, it seems like. She did okay in the acting. I don't know if any of you noticed this, but to me, she was doing another Anna Nicole Smith performance during her first acting challenge, or the one where she was Sissy. So maybe that was the second one. But I distinctly heard the same voice and some of the same sort of acting movements and things when she was playing that character as the Anna Nicole. And I wonder if anybody else noticed that's watching this. So let me know if you did. So I think she did pretty good. I definitely think she did better than Courtney. So she does probably deserve to still be in the top three, I believe. As far as Bianca Del Rio, of course she did very well. She pulled it out on the treadmill, and in that choreography she did well. And then as far as the acting, I mean, she's such a natural at that. And she does such a good job. I mean, truly, she's one of the funniest queens that's ever been on this show. She has so much wit and so much humor that she's able to use. And of course, it served her very well in these challenges. So, yeah, she did very well and very much deserves to be in the final three. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, my final three would have been Bianca, Adore, and Darienne. Darienne, like I said, I thought she did pretty good. I agree with the judges that she started out slow in the Sissy challenge, where she was playing a character named Sissy, but then she really made up for it, and she got RuPaul as Charles, I think the name was, to come back in and finish the scene, so to speak, with her. So that was pretty amazing. Now, as far as the runway looks, Bianca was in the blue dress and had that long red hair, kind of orangey red. I thought she looked really good. I really don't think, though, that blue is her best color. I think she looks really good in yellows and golds and orangey colors from some of the past challenges. But, yeah, the blue looked okay, but I just don't think it's her best color. Darienne Lake was also in a bright blue shimmery gown type dress, and she was wearing a very red wig. She looked great. I think the only thing I would have changed is not had the hair off to the side like that. I thought it makes it look wig-like. But other than that, she looked really good. Let's see, Courtney act, again, kind of boring to me. Nothing's She just does not stand out in my mind at all. I can't even honestly remember right this second what she was wearing. So that tells you something. I think it was just a creamy white colored dress that I'm sure was pretty, but she just doesn't stand out. And then Adore Delano, she was the biggest thing that I can say about her is I hate the wigs she tends to wear. Especially last night, she wore one like that twice, where it's got the really dark up here and in through the roots, and then, blonde throughout, or ashy blonde, white blonde, something like that. I can't take that. I don't like it at all, and it looks like crap in my humble or not so humble opinion. But, the girl's talented. She's got a lot going for her. I truly do not, however, think that Adore should win this competition because, as I think I said last week, I don't think she's ready. I don't think she's a seasoned enough drag queen. And as she herself said last night on that show, she's got a lot to learn. And so, I don't think that the next drag superstar should be someone who is that new and that immature in the drag world. She's got a lot going for her, and I think she is going to be a great drag queen. I think she's pretty much already there, but she's not ready for that level, in my opinion. However, Bianca, definitely. Definitely, in my opinion, Bianca should win. And she has shown consistency throughout this competition. She has been excellent. She hasn't hardly made any mistakes or flubs or, tripped up at all. She's been very, very strong throughout, and I hope RuPaul will recognize that. Also, she is a very seasoned drag queen. She has a lot of talent besides drag as far as comedy that you don't have to be a drag queen for, although hers tends to be drag-based comedy. And then, of course, the sewing ability. That's what she does for a living, so that helps, being a seamstress type person on Broadway, from what I understand. And so she has excelled in that. And then, as far as the other things that maybe aren't her forte, like, singing or choreography, dancing, even though that's not maybe her strongest point, she has certainly done very well in those areas. So, again, there's very little that I can think of for this whole season that Bianca has not done extremely well. So, you go, girl. Anyway, and that brings me to Darienne Lake, who, as we said, unfortunately went home. I think that Darienne should have been in the top three of these four queens. Of course, I would much rather see Ben de la Creme in the top three, because that's who I thought it should be, is Ben de la Creme, Bianca, and Darienne, or Adore, or Courtney, one of those three. But personally, I wouldn't put Courtney there. I just thought they were going to put Courtney there. So they did, and unfortunately Ben de la Creme did not make it. But Darienne, I think from last night's performances that Darienne should have gone to the top three and not Courtney. He did really well in pretty much everything. He didn't have the major mistakes that he had the prior week with some of his outfits. And so, it would have been nice to see a big girl go through to the final three. Because if I remember correctly, this is exactly what happened with Latrice Royale in her season, is that she went out at number 4 and didn't get to the top three. So one of these days, I hope RuPaul will let a big girl go on to the top three, but it just doesn't seem like it so far. And to just wrap up, next week, of course, is a recap kind of show, and they're going to show, I'm sure, some unseen footage, and they'll have some of the past drag queens talking about the current season. And then the week after that, we'll have the reunion and the winner announced. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, I am hoping that it's Bianca. I'm rooting for Bianca. But in all honesty, I would not be one bit surprised if Adore Delano wins, just because RuPaul has been doing everything this season, it seems like, that doesn't make sense to me and that I don't agree with. So why not one more thing? There have been plenty of seasons where I didn't agree with the winner, so I won't be surprised if it happens again. I think it would be awful to not give Bianca the title, because I think she so deserves it, probably more than most of the other winners did, just for that consistency and that strong performance throughout. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed Drag Race this week, and if you haven't seen it yet, I hope this didn't spoil it for you. But like I said, watch it first. Anyway, take care, and we will talk again next week.